Hello everybody, hope you are all well. As I promised to some of you, I was going to do a short video for rests because I know some of you want to start practicing a few more hand balances, and so we would need the strength and the active mobility in the rest, and also to understand a little better the relationship between the chain all the way up to the shoulder. But also some of you have issues with their wrist, and so we're gonna see what we can do about that. So we will begin with our CARs, our controlled articular rotations. We'll do one hand at a time. Now I'm not gonna do both sides, I'm just gonna show you the exercises, so then you can kind of do all of them a few times a week, or you can break them up into chunks and do something every single day. I would suggest that you do your CARs every single day, and then you pick an exercise or a couple of other exercises and you do them. So we start with our CARs. You can either position your other hand on the forearm, or if you don't have so much control in your wrist still, you can hold it. Now the emphasis is on not moving your forearm. So from here, with the palm completely straight, we don't want to bend the fingers. We turn the fingers in, they go out, they turn, and then they go up. We continue in the same direction and we do slow circles. Nothing else is moving apart the hand into the wrist. You do it 3 times in one direction and 3 times to the other. After 3 repetitions, you should already feel your forearm kind of not burning, but that it's working. The muscles get tired. So 3 times each side. Then you do the other hand, and then you take a tennis ball or whatever ball you have at your house, you squeeze it. Now we're going to do this the other way around. So your forearm is facing down. You bring the ball in, you try not to move it. It's going to be a little trickier, so you might need to have a little more control, especially if this is a completely new position for the forearm and you try to move. You're still squeezing the ball. 3 circles each direction. And of course, some days when you're doing your control articular rotations, you can do the same thing with your forearm facing up. You can even try and do some deviations down and up, still squeezing the ball. So that's one. You do that every single day. Then come to the finger flares. The hands are forward. You can keep them slightly lower than your shoulders so that you're not shrugging up the shoulders. You let the fingers flare out and then in. Forearms are not moving. It's just your hands. And from there, you begin finger by finger to bend them down. You bring the knuckles to point down and in. So they're pointing towards each other. The thumb is over. And from there, you push the thumb forward. And you extend the wrist, so you push the first line of your knuckles back, and then you slowly begin to open your fingers, finding as much extension as you can. The thumb is facing forward. Let's do that one more time. Fingers forward, out, in, out, and in, and you start finger by finger. Pushing down, knuckles in. Then you push forward, knuckles go up, your wrists go into extension, keep the thumb forward, lift the fingers up and release. So you can start by 5 repetitions, and as you get stronger, you can do more. Now we're gonna keep facing forward. Well, actually I'll turn to the side and then we'll go forward. You're sitting on your heels, hands are on the floor, and you begin to pull the hands towards you. So there's action happening in the tricep, there's action in your abdomen, and from there you begin to bring your body forward. Your hands are actively pulling back. You come forward, you see where your range is. Push your fingers into the floor, and then release and come back once again. Pull the hands towards you, and begin to come forward. As your shoulders come over your wrists, or when you begin to find your edge, press the fingertips into the floor as well. The hands are still pulling backwards. and release. So you do that 5 times, 10 times. You pause a little bit on the way forward, but there's always that action. Now, something to be mindful of, and let's explore that as your hands are pressing into the earth. Externally rotate your arms fully and internally rotate. You can do that a few times. And then come to a position and check as you're bringing your weight over, which position of the bone gives you better space. Now, if there's a tendency for your forearm to roll in, you might feel a little bit of compression into the wrist. So their arms are coming into a slight external rotation. Now, you don't have to overdo it. And they're pulling back. Now, similarly, we're going to go into child's pose. We're going to do finger taps. So from here, fingers are up towards the ceiling. So you're actively extending into the wrist. Fingers are up. And you come forward. And you stop to the point where you can still keep your fingers off the floor. And there you begin to tap. And you tap as fast as you can, and you try not to bend your elbows. Tap, 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 tap. And you go back again. If you get a break in between, the hands can come to the floor, and then you lift up again. Find your edge, coming forward, holding it there, and tap. And down. Now you can bring your hands under your shoulders and lift the index finger up and make circles with your index finger. It might feel like an impossibility, but you try, then you do circles to the other direction, and you do the same with the middle finger, trying to keep the elbows more or less straight, changing the direction, going to the other side, to the, ring finger, and reversing, little finger, and change, and you can do the same with the thumb, and reverse. Let's do some push-ups. We're going to transition the weight firstly, pushing the top of the hands to the floor. Now from here, I'm pushing down, but I don't really have weight. I can lift my hands at any given moment. So from there, I bend my elbows, I go down, and I try to bring my chest to my hands, not back. So I'm there. I come up, I squeeze my hands into fist, and I come up all the way into my fist, to my knuckles. I peel my hands down, I open my fingers, lower down, coming up, squeeze on the knuckles. And you can repeat that 5, 10 times. And then I have my hands forward and I do raises. Now, obviously, the further forward you have your shoulders, the more load you will have, the more challenging it will be. So if this is a new position for you and your wrists are not so strong, you can begin from a position where you have less angle into the wrist. As you get stronger, you can come forward. Now, what's important to focus on is that the knuckles stay on the floor. So as you're lifting, you don't want to lift up to your fingers. This is not what we're trying to do here. We want to strengthen that muscle here, lifting up and down. Your fingers are open and you try to keep an even pressure between all the 4 knuckles. Your thumb knuckle will not stay on the floor. And then as you get stronger, you try to load a little more. Now, to counteract that action, Bring the arms forward, squeeze your hands into fist, bring your knuckles down and push them down. Bring the shoulders towards you, push them forward, lift them up and open. Squeeze, push down, bring them towards you. And similarly, you can repeat that 5-10 times. It depends how many exercises you're doing at once, at one practice, how much time you come, and also how ready your tissues are. Obviously, if your wrists are a little weak, or if this is new to you and your tissues are not prepared, you don't want to start and do 10 repetitions of every single exercise. You need to pace it slowly so that your tissues begin to adapt into the load that you're introducing and into the exercises. I forgot what I wanted to do next. Let me think. Yes, we were gonna explore a little bit the range. Now, if having your shoulder over your wrist being in a vertical position is already a little bit restrictive or is creating a little bit of discomfort or even pain, we need to gradually approach that. Maybe the mobility is not there yet, so we don't want to force it, and most definitely we don't want to compensate by coming more forward but bending into the elbow. So we want to create that awareness of where my wrist is at this moment in time and work with there. We want to work with strength so that we can sustain that mobility so our tissues can adapt, as I said before. So we can start with one hand. Now you can do that having your hand on a stool or in a higher surface or from here. After the warm-up, you come forward and you find your edge, whatever that is. Maybe it's there. You find your edge and you can stay passively there for about 2 minutes. And then we're going to begin to load the movement by pushing your fingers into the floor. It's as if you want to literally bend your hand into the floor. So you're there, you're pushing down, your fingers are pushing down. It's as if you want to bend your hand, pushing down, pushing down, pushing down. And you're loading up gradually the action. So you go from 20%, you're building it up to 40% of effort pushing down. Then you're pushing down to 60, you're going up to 80, and then you think of lifting your fingers up. Nothing is going to change, you're not going to lift your hand up, but it's the action, it's the intention. Different set of muscles work as if you want to lift your fingers up. And you can even try at the very, very end to lift your hand off the floor and see if anything changes. And you release. You can kind of counterpose that action gently, and you can repeat it one more time to increase your range. Now the last thing that we'll do is to work a little bit with maintaining alignment in the forearms whilst putting forearms and elbows to the floor. So from that position, at the beginning, we'll find a gentle external rotation, and then we bring the elbows down, and we straighten the arms. Elbows go down and up. Elbows go down and up. As this becomes comfortable, you can try and do the same. I'm not in a complete downward dog. You can try and do that. My bottom is a little lifted. I can be in a full downward dog. Elbows go as far down as it's comfortable. Try not to open the elbows out. So you're still as if you're corkscrewing, drilling your hands to the floor so that the elbows can go back and up. And the last bit is we are in a quadruple position. We can do the same in plank, and you bring forearms down and up. Forearms go down, they go up. Same with your downward dog. When you're going down, you're drilling the floor. You don't need to go down all the way. It's better to stay higher than just kind of landing down like this or opening your elbows to the side. So you're drilling them in, down and up. You don't need to go down all the way. Whatever you're doing, it's important to pay attention to the response of the body and of your body parts, and if there's anything that is kind of compensating just to create a movement, or if we can maintain control if we have the strength. And if we don't have the strength or our tissues are not prepared for, then we can do a little bit of homework to bring back that strength, that mobility, or to create it. So that's all folks for today. Thank you very much. See you soon.